I get the same feeling, so I'm coming day and night.
Can you fly, Bobby?
Can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it.
She's already contaminated by this odd substance.
Jesus wept.
I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!"
Okay, hello, welcome back to my stream. I am Michael Keane. I am sounding very monotone right now. I'm even noticing myself. Don't know why that is. Actually, I do know why that is. I'm just gonna let y'all know I feel like absolute trash today, but I skipped Saturday and Sunday. I might continue to skip Saturday, Sundays just because they're kind of tough with family to stream. But we'll see how that shakes out. I'm not going to make it a hard rule to skip Saturday, Sunday, but definitely something that I'm thinking about. I feel like absolute trash today. I can barely control my shakiness. My blood sugar is all weird, and I feel like garbage. I think it's exhaustion because I'm working so much, mixed with a lack of eating properly. Either which way, the point is I'm a little out of sorts today, and I apologize. Let's see here. I didn't even start presenting my window yet. Let me just close a few things to make life easier and present. Burp, 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 burp. Entire screen. Share. All right. There we go. That's fine. All right. So I did a little bit of work Saturday and Sunday. Hey, now I brush my teeth just fine. Eating my vegetables. Is there something in my teeth? Wait, let's see here. No. Just coffee stained as normal. Speaking of which, that's the ticket. So we're on day 22, and the important takeaway here really is just that we're tracking our story through the plot points and then writing the scenes in point form. This is the part where it actually kind of goes hand in hand with how I normally would write a script. We'll talk about that in a second. Down below, let's revisit our most powerful storytelling tools, the dilemma our protagonists want and need, and the structure questions. And the structure questions have what's the word? The structure questions have informed everything I did Saturday, Sunday. For the writing exercises for the day, we are writing for 5 minutes, beginning with something I expect from others is, and then we're moving on to something I expect from myself is. But then we get fun, and we sit down for ball sacks covered in shit. We sit down for one uninterrupted hour and read over our 3-page outline. Watch the movie in our head. When a new idea comes to us, we make a point form note on the outline page, have a notebook handy for random notes that arise that don't fit onto the outline. All right, so this is how I'm doing the outline stage right here in Milanote. If you have Milanote, I highly recommend doing something similar. I think I can export. there must be some way to create oh shoot, what's the word I'm looking for? A preset for this so that I can just create to give you an idea of what I'm trying to say. If you create a new board, it has a little choose template thing down here. Oop, has a little choose your template down here, and it's actually really neat. I don't know how to make a template. I'm sure if I took 5 minutes, I could figure it out. But if you go through, where is it? Film and TV, and there's a few options here. You have a brainstorming option, which is interesting. Mood board, which is exactly what it sounds like. I'm not sure why you need a template for a mood board, but whatever. Storyboard, same thing. I'm not really sure it's entirely necessary to create a template for that, but whatever. But most importantly, you got a beat sheet, and the beat sheet works in the save the cat method. So if you wanted to, you could very easily do that. You'll see if you use the template, it takes out all the examples and just gives you something straight up, which I would generally move these around a little bit if I wanted to use this type of template, just to give myself a little bit more space. Not more space, but kind of utilize the space better. Because the thing you can do is if you add in a bunch of bullshit to a card, and then you add another thing that's, some more bullshit, if it gets too long, you can just minimize it. Easy peasy. So Milanote rocks. Notion works similarly, and there's other options for people, but I use Milanote. All right. So let's do our writing exercises for the day. Let's get those out of the way so that we can move on to the fun bits. So 1A, something I expect from others is participation. If they agree to help a project, then I expect them to be there for it until completion. 1B, I'm not going to write for 5 minutes on this. Something I expect from myself is, and this is where I don't even know, something I expect from myself is that I get the job done. Man, I'm way more out of it than I thought I was before I started the stream. And then I'm going to blast your eardrums out with my coughing. Blah, 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 blah. So let's see here. Something I expect from myself is that I get the job done, no matter what life throws at me or the production. I always finish what I've started. And of course, Josh is going to have to learn that sometimes you have to give up in order to move forward. All right, cool. So the next thing that we have to do is start some writing. So what I'm going to do, and this is where I'm going to go a little off script, so to speak, from Alan Watts' book. Let's see here. Let's make sure that this doesn't look like complete garbage. Okay. That looks about right. And we'll go back to our board. We'll delete this example. All right. So this is going to be on the left, our script for Twink of the Damned. And I wrote V2 because, of course, I already have a script called Twink of the Damned. So this is our new version. And I'll go ahead and add in Act 1. Bold and underline that just to have it. And if you look at my outline, you'll see that page 1, which is the opening / false belief. Ugh, sorry, 1 second. This is great streaming. So we have our lube exorcism that's gone horribly wrong. It says to do this for an hour, so we're going to cut this off at 4:10. It's currently 3:11. So lube exorcism goes horribly wrong. The pea soup cum shot is too powerful and sends the actor Greg to the floor. So right off the bat, we got a nice dumb thing happening to someone, and that is our first scene. In brackets, he says to do point by point. This is my version of doing point by point. And then after that, we have Josh talks with a crew member about Twink over the edit of the film. I almost feel like in order to get us directly into the stuff with Marilyn, how about he's showing Marilyn the footage? About Twink over the current edit. So I don't know what it is about me streaming, but anytime I do, my dog just lets out the most heinous fart. And it doesn't happen when I'm not streaming. But when I am, he just lets it be known that he does not care for streaming one bit because it is noxious currently. Although oddly comforting. Oddly comforting. All right. So that's our opening and false belief thing. There's not much of a, well, there'll be a false belief within Josh talking to Marilyn, but this way we get to use a lot of our footage and we kind of see what the film is. From there, Marilyn explains to Josh that she's going to sue the fuck out of him if he doesn't deliver finished film. And I came up with something. She gives him a second option. He can give up the rights to his entire back catalog in lieu of being sued. So this gives him a little bit more leeway, but also it's arguably a worse option because he's giving up his entire past. And I think that maybe he'll have to do that in the end in order to move forward with his career. And then I have a note that says, you make wank films without the wanking. That's supposed to be something that Marilyn says. So here's the beauty of doing it like this, is we can just go ahead and put Marilyn. Oh, let's... there we go. You make wank films without the wanking. All right. So we have a little dialogue exchange that we can just pop in there. And when we want to, we can go back and we can fill in that scene. But we have what's important, which is the line that we want in the film. We can go back and take care of that later. Then I wrote in this character Hal, who would be our special effects guy, who I'm basing a little bit on Tom Devlin. And who knows, maybe we could get Tom Devlin to play the role. He can act. And let's add Hal can be heard off screen yelling obscenities, which is not something that I expect from Tom. Tom isn't really much of a yeller, or an obscenities guy, but we'll go with it. Let's say that they rewind the film, which is a little silly, because why would you rewind it? But we're going to have it rewind just so that we have something visually interesting happening. So this is our opposing argument section. And I was thinking Greg could, so this is where I'm going to have a lot of people just piling on Josh right from the top. It's going to be a real inside Llewyn Davis, like just shit happening to this poor guy who just wants to get his movie made. So Greg asks for an exorbitant amount of money to finish the film because he's mad about the pea soup incident. Let's see here. Mickey comes in with a voice of reason and suggests that Josh just sign over the movies or the film rights and let it go. Because the future is the principal concern. Let's see if this will. Nope. Let's see, you've done so much, but is it really what do you want, Jesus? What you want to do for the rest of your life? You and I both know you have more to show the world. Maybe a bit on the nose, but reasonable. Bailey asks for an epic death scene, which immediately would sound too expensive to produce. All right. Then Josh brings together a skeleton crew to finish Twink within the week that Marilyn has given them. And meanwhile, Greg is brutally killed. So that brings up the question of where. So let's say it's at the bar that Greg asks for that. All right. And I've also, if you'll look over here, I've added some characters. I have Guillermo, who's, I'm going to have him double as both the script supervisor and Dr. Ron, because that's something I would do anyway, probably. It's a small part. And then Reba, who's our sound girl. Sound Woman, Hal, of course, and then Duke, who is our key grip. I wanted a key grip in there somewhere. I pretty much never have a key grip. I am always working like all these jobs myself, but for the sake of the film, I think it'd be nice to have a key grip in there. Also, if we're being honest, I would prefer to have a key grip. I think that's pretty fucking useful. All right, so then we get into Act 2. Let's underline and bold that. So this is day 1 of the shoot. We'll get back into details of that later. At some point I want to work in a sexy Jesus dream. I feel like it could work here somewhere. The beginning of Act 2 for me is going to be basically Act 2 is there's 2 halves to it. There's the first half is showing off the filmmaking process and delving into the minutia of that. The second half is getting into the slasher element. So we're basically going from a sort of what's the fucking movie? I'm gonna Steve Buscemi movie about making a movie, Living in Oblivion. It's like Living in Oblivion, but then it turns into Friday the 13th. That kind of concept. My sinuses are messed up too. I'm just all over the place. I stayed out super late to watch Nosferatu after a show, and that was a mistake. It messed up my sinuses, something fierce. Movie was good. Not the best. Not my favorite Dracula interpretation, but certainly worthwhile. Greetings, Allison. All right, so from here we have days 2 through 5. I really don't know how exactly this is going to look, but I just want it to be we're going through production, going through the trials and tribulations that a quick production like this entail. I want to have one thing I love about David Dakota's 1313 series is all the cavorting on bed stuff. If you haven't watched the 1313 series, there's a lot of just like sexy twink dude is on a bed and is just touching his own chest and stuff and moving around. And I want to include that, but I'd also like a montage so that we can get in as much filmmaking bullshit as we can in our limited amount of time. We have based on the breakdown that Alan Watt provides, we have between pages 30 and 45, so we have 15 minutes of just doing all this stuff. So 15 minutes out of that 15 minutes, maybe a 2.5 to 3 minute montage to tie things up and work in all the little things, all the little gags that we want to work in. That'll be fun to write. And then we get to our midpoint. I still don't know what the secluded location should be. That's something I need to work out. And then, of course, Bailey is horribly murdered. That'll put a cap on the midpoint. And fully... Because basically what we're doing at this midpoint is we are switching the location to something more slasher conducive. And then we're also introducing the slasher element in full by having the most heinous, just insane, Terrifier-esque murder sequence we can possibly come up with. Which I do have. That's not because I'm just a misogynist. There is that too. But Tia specifically asked me to give her a horrible murder. I'm going to give her a horrible murder because she deserves it, man. All right. So then, oh God. I just realized that this is being seen as a scene heading, and that's no good for me. So I'm just going to unformatted text that. Oh. Brain. So only Josh, Mickey, Duke, Guillermo, and Reba make it to the location. So they're down Bailey. And Josh can't figure out how to move the production forward without Bailey. This is where I'm a little uncertain about things. I do feel like there's something missing here, but again, we'll get back to that. The point of this is just to have something to work with, because once we have all these points written down, we can just start filling things in as we go, and that'll put us a bit ahead of Alan Watts' book. Josh gives up and is about to call Marilyn and tell her she wins, only to hear a scream from nearby. It's Mickey. And this leads us into Act 3. Again, I feel like Act 2, we have a lot to fill in here. But Act 3. Josh must put his life on the line and save his lead actor / lover from the killer. He realizes that people aren't abandoning the film, they're dying. And we could maybe have like the killer display the bodies like you do in a Friday the 13th. I don't know about that yet. Josh rallies the troops. That's another just very vague moment, but in some way, shape, or form, he rallies the troops. And then him and his remaining skeleton crew beat the ever-loving shit out of Steve. And then I'm gonna just copy and paste this last bit. Josh accepts his fate. He's going to be sued into oblivion, and that's okay because his remaining cast and crew are safe. Marilyn reneges on her initial deal after footage of the incident goes viral, and she gives Josh another 10 grand and another chance to finish the film because, per Marilyn, at the end of the day, this is about money. Josh trashes the film and starts anew. I don't know how to. The problem with digital filmmaking is it's hard to say that he trashes the film. So I don't know exactly how we're going to do this. Let's actually let's start with Josh. Could he have a breakdown and destroy hard drives? He could. He could. Although I feel like it shouldn't be a breakdown necessarily. It should be. Although, yeah, we could. You know what? Let's go back through. This is where our point-by-point system kind of works out for us. Also, we're very short right now. This should be 3 pages long. So, got plenty to add. Winding the film. We see that the film materials are kept on a single orange hard drive. I'm thinking, is this plugged in? I was going to show you a hard drive, but I think it's plugged in, and I can't get it from over there. But one of those lacy orange hard drives. We could see it being there. So half our cast and crew are gone. What do we do? No. Josh, we move on. All right, we move forward. And then, let's see, Josh boots up his script writing software. And writes the writes on the title page, Twink of the Damned. And below that, draft 2. Or second draft. Which is we'll make that better. We'll make it better. But that can be our ending, is him moving on to a new version of the film. Let's see here. And that can be interior. We can start laying in scenes here where we need them. So, for example, the lube exorcism, interior, master bedroom, night. Moonlight peeks in, and blankets. Mickey, the demonic twink, who has been tied down to the bedposts. Let's see. In front of him, I think I'm going to try to do some of this. I don't know the best way to do the actual writing process, because it's going to be a lot of me being quiet. So I might need to do some of this pre-stream, and then stream can be looking over it and breaking it down and revising the script, because as it stands, when I type, I don't talk very much. So I apologize for that as well. So in front of him, the priest, Greg. What's the word I'm looking for? Presents a crucifix. Mid-scream. So Greg can say, the power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. I feel like fuck you, father fuckface kind of works in a like making fun of The Exorcist kind of way. Let's see here. This is where it'd be nice if this stream was more popular, because I could use thoughts and what have you, but that's fine. And I'm sorry again, my brain is royally screwed up today. I probably should have taken off streaming, but I felt weird about it after that 2-day absence. All right. So there's a bunch of stuff that needs to happen in this scene, but the main point is that Mickey breaks his right hand free of the restraints and begins to jerk off at Greg. Damn you, demon. Damn me, make spare change. I don't know. I'll come up with something better for Mickey to say. To the side. I'm going to say Roger. Let's use his real name. Looks on in horror. Father, please do something. I'm doing my best. Greg. Oh, there we go. Greg throws holy water at Mickey. It burns him, but doesn't stop him from jerking. Oh, oops. He's gonna blow. Mickey screams out in pleasure as he busts a nut. Pea soup jets out at an uncomfortably high velocity, sending Greg backward. We'll have Hal off camera. Fuck. It's out of control. Josh. Also off camera. Turn it off. Turn it off. Suddenly, the film pauses on Greg being doused in pea soup. We rewind through the scene and through those preceding it. Mickey gesticulating in an ambulance. Shoot, what do we have? Hold on, let me do something real quick. I'm gonna open up Resolve, see what we got. But anyway, we rewind. We begin, or let's have Marilyn. I don't know how to put. Okay, if it's technically off screen. We'll just do VO. It doesn't really matter. Okay, let's see this turd from the top. Let's see here. So that would be, I have some offline media I need to figure out. Dr. Ron's death sequence. So it'd be somewhere in here. There we go. The lube wrestling exorcism. I need to add more lube to that opener, definitely. But lube wrestling exorcism starts here. We've got talking to Dr. Ron, gesticulating in the ambulance. Oop, almost showed some dong. You can see here where it's just nonstop. It goes on forever. Where he's just humping the air. Just humping the air. It's a beautiful scene. So we're not going to show the fucking, but that is something that we can add into the script. Mickey gesticulating in the ambulance. Greg and I don't know. I don't have a good name for Shannon, so I'm just going to say Shannon fucking in the shower. All right. His sort of pole dancing maneuver. Pole dancing scene. Harmon doing his. Harmon being Harmon. Oh shit! I haven't written Harmon into the script yet. That's a problem. Okay, you got to do that. It's actually, this is where notes come into play. Let's see here. Stuff with Harmon. There's a lot of talking. Oh, and there's a whole bunch of wartime footage. A lot of wartime footage. Also, let me know if y'all can hear the audio from this, because I don't know if it actually works or not. Wartime footage. Pool. All right. Can only hear me? Okay. So we'll figure that out at some point. It's fine right now. We don't need to hear the footage. It actually is probably better that we don't hear the footage. But yeah, I got my slow-mo Mickey in the pool. Got his butt. Got him working that pole. More booty. Being a pool boy. Finding a butt plug. Anyway. Pool scene. Or wartime footage. Pool scene. And finally, the opening shot. Which I believe... I might keep it like this because I really like this shot. Yeah. And that goes into the main credits, which we're going to change. I don't know. I don't know if I want. I think I'm going to change it to fake credits for the movie within the movie. And we can kind of get an idea of who all is in the cast and crew. I already started doing that with Assault Panda Incorporated as the in-universe production company. Shot Mickey walking through a big house. Oh, you know what? Let's kind of mess that up. All right. So that works. Real quick, I wonder if I can fix this audio conundrum. I guess the problem, let's see here. I wonder, let's see here. Oh, you know what? It's because my audio isn't coming through the speakers. That's what's wrong. I bet y'all can hear that. So here's the opening currently as it stands. So that goes through there. And of course, that'd be Josh Wakefield and all that stuff. I don't know where I want. Let's see. I feel like let's see. Could have him pause, fast forward, get to the dong shot, which I'm not going to show you right now. Then go to the wartime footage. But this is kind of how I'm thinking we write this way, that we should wind up with a rough draft of the entire script before we get to it in the Alan Watt book. But it's still mostly just taking notes and using brackets to your advantage, which is not what Alan Watt suggests, but it's what I suggest. Let's see. And like at the bar, Greg asked for an exorbitant amount of money. So interior, the bar, night. Greg and Josh sit at the bar. The bartender, Steve, cleans glasses nearby. I need more money. I don't have any more money. That's a you problem, man. I'm not doing another pea soup shot without a decent paycheck. Please, man. I'm begging you. We have to finish this movie. Man, that's too much man. It's been nearly a year since we last shot anything. What's the big hurry now? So here's, okay. Does he want Greg to know about the full situation? Is he willing to put that out there to other characters that are maybe on a need to know basis? It's nothing. I just want to get the film done. Well, I want to get paid. That's reasonable, but just then in walks, let's see, Bailey and Mickey. And they'll have a nice little conversation. But again, just a little bit to get an idea of where the scene is going. And then we move on. I almost want, in order to make this a little bit easier to read, I think I'll bold everything in brackets. That way we see where our scenes are more easily. There we go. So I think that's a nice way of doing the Alan Watt notations method. How does he put it? Let's see here. Sit down for one uninterrupted hour and read over your 3-page outline. Watch the movie in your head. When a new idea comes to you, make a point form note on the outline page. So instead of making point form notes, I don't even know it's just a point note, just like a bullet point. Have a notebook handy for random notes that arise that don't fit onto the outline, which that's where we have our little notepad here. I need to see how there are channels that do live streams of just like write with me, and I kind of want to do that. A write with me, but you can see what I'm writing. But maybe we just play some nice music or something so that we can write together. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know. I do know that I am rapidly fading, and I have to work tonight. So the lube exorcism goes horribly wrong. All right. That one we're going to beef up. Like, that's going to be a solid, like, 3 pages of action happening. I'd like to start strong there. Let's see here. So Marilyn's office day. Marilyn sits across from a large flat screen TV, while Josh stands behind her with a remote. And that explains rewinding the footage. They're not in an editing bay like I initially thought they would be, but they're watching it on a big TV in her office. Attached to the TV is a small orange hard drive. It's not a hard drive, it's an SSD drive. Okay, maybe we do a write with me for a few days or once or twice, see how it works out. I know there's sites where you can there's like Spotify lists of music where you won't get copyright struck for playing it. So I might do that. I feel like that's the best option. And then, yeah, if somebody wants to write with me later, they can, because it'll just be there on the YouTubes. Fuck, I am so tired. All right. So they're talking. Okay, I heard, Allison, heard. Ugh. So anyway, we've gone from 0 pages to essentially 5 pages of material, just by taking our notes, transcribe or putting them in a document, and we can just go from here and write through as best as we can. I think I'm going to end this a little early. We're about an hour. I was going to go to an hour 11 or an hour 10, but I am fading really fast. I don't know that I can do much. I think I'll continue writing for the next 10 minutes, but I don't know that I have much commentary to give. There's also for action beats, we can be a little general with them if we need to, because again, we'll eventually go back over. So like Guillermo walks through his death scene. I don't know exactly what his death scene's going to entail yet, so we'll figure it out. But for right now, we know that he walks through his death scene. I don't even know what I'm writing right now. Let's see. So lube exorcism goes horribly wrong. The pea soup cum shot is too powerful and sends the actor Greg to the floor. How can be heard off screen yelling obscenities? Okay, so we can delete that because we have the basics. We need to elongate the lube exorcism and add in some lube wrestling and what have you, but it gives us what we need. That goes into Marilyn's office. We've seen that the film materials are kept on a single hard drive, so we don't need that anymore. Marilyn explains to Josh that she's going to sue the fuck out of him. Is Wang really not a word according to the software? That seems silly. I feel like Wang is part of the lexicon at this point. Okay, you're making wank films without the wanking. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. You came to me for funds. You promised something for the gay horror market. Something that would make dividends on Blu-ray and on Tubi. Oh, this isn't even finished. Yeah, I think, Allison, that I think Ginger will like this a lot. That's what I'm aiming for, is to impress Ginger Lynn, because she's great, and she, like, you give her a juicy role, she will sink her teeth into it. Like, that's with Dr. Deathface. Her role is very small, and I felt so bad editing it, because anytime I took out even the slightest beat, I just felt like, man, I should have given her a lot more to work with, because she fucking nailed the assignment so hard. So I want to give her plenty to sink her teeth into. So this is what I'm going to continue writing. I'm going to do this on my off time as well, and see what we can come up with. And tomorrow, unless I feel like absolute dog shit tomorrow, which is entirely plausible, we'll stream again, and I'll go over what I've done, and we will continue to add notes and flesh this out. Specifically, I'd like to flesh out the second act, although I don't know that we are doing that yet in the book. I'll read ahead and see exactly what we've got going on. Actually, let's see. That's just basic stuff. We're going to be doing more writing exercises is the big thing, while also every day checking out our outline. So, yeah, this what day is this? This is day 27. We start getting some interesting exercises, and it seems like that's where things really start to take off. It's day 27. And then we start getting into our actual screenwriting, which we've technically already done, or technically already gotten into, because we've started writing. But I think that this is the way to do it, just going beat by beat. And again, I want to get through. I really want to, at least next time we talk, go through and expand on this stuff, because this stuff in Act 2 is way too vague and really needs to be elaborated on. Tia, you made it just as I'm about to end the stream. Ooh, you know what I also really want to do next time is I want to get Bailey's death scene written. I want to write so we can start planning how we're going to do that. and then the sexy Jesus dream. There's part of me that wants the sexy Jesus dream to be an actual dream within the movie and not brain. Sorry. So for those just tuning in, my head is all over the place right now. I am not. I don't think I'm sick with anything like a virus or anything. I think I just burned the candle at both ends, and now my body is rejecting it. I feel like my sinuses drained the other night and like messed up my throat. So I might have something sinus happening. I don't know. I'm fucked up right now. But sexy Jesus dream. Let's note could be Josh's actual dream, which turns into a nightmare that he wakes up from before starting a new day, a new shoot day. So we did an opening scene, which I think is going to be pretty sweet. It's our lube wrestling exorcism sequence, which we need to go back and finesse a bit. But I like this starting point. I do think this is a dumb concern to have probably, but I am a little worried that this is almost too mainstream as it's currently written. Just based on my previous work, I feel like people expect something a bit more like the movie they're making and not the movie being made about the making of the movie. We'll see how that goes though. And Act 3, I'm probably going to ignore for the most part as we go through, because I'd like to get Act 2 nice and thorough. Wait, where is? Yeah, we need Greg's death. What's a good death scene that's not Terrifier that's like super brutal? Because I'd like a reference point for that. But I kind of feel weird about referencing Terrifier. And also the brackets thing. The brackets can go anywhere. So if there's dialogue where you're like, man, I don't know what exactly to put here, but I know the general idea of what I'm going for, just pop in a little thing. Sleepaway Camp's good. But brackets can go anywhere. I am fucking dying and I need to get ready for work, so we're gonna end things here. I'm sorry this has been a bit of a bummer stream, but we got a bunch of outlining done, so there is that. Could be worse. Yeah. It's a process, but we will be back ideally tomorrow with more of this weird experiment that we're trying out. Yeah, until next time, guys, go make a movie.
It's gonna take me some time to give you all that is mine. I'm looking ultra fine from your view from behind. It's gonna take me some time to give you all that is mine. I'm looking ultra fine from your view from behind. Far as my phone, working play out. You got what's coming and you gonna shout. Sit right down, boy.